So before the video begins, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of the video, Fan to Fan Network. Now what the Fan to Fan Network is a network for you guys, for the fans, giving you unbiased and real analysis and perspective. If you guys are tired of the mainstream media, if you're tired of the same old watered down biased takes, and you want a different perspective, unbiased, uncut, and real, make sure that you guys go ahead and check out the Fan to Fan Network. They're going to be streaming live streams almost every day on Twitch. The link will be down in the description, in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out the Fan to Fan.
Growing up as a kid, yeah. All a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from.
So a couple of weeks ago, I made a video talking about how good I felt the New York Giants offense would be going into this season. And a lot of New York Giants fans in the comment section, they wanted a sequel to that video. They wanted my thoughts on how good I felt the Giants defense would be this upcoming NFL season. Now the offense, I had a lot of high expectations for the offense. I was really high on the New York Giants offense. I felt they could have an above average offense this upcoming NFL season. But when it comes to the defense, I'm not really all that high on the defense. Now, the strength of the defense, in my opinion, is the defensive line. Now, the defensive line, you got Leonard Williams, you got Dexter Lawrence, you got B.J. Hill. All three of those guys were rock solid, in my opinion, last year. Now, given they didn't really get after the quarterback all that often, but they were really good when it came to stopping the run. Now, the stats don't show how good I felt New York's defensive line was when it comes to their ability to stop the run. And rushing yards per game, they allowed 113 rushing yards per game, which was 20th in the NFL. Now, in my opinion, I think this is a defense that when it comes to their ability to stop the run, that could potentially be top 10 when it comes to run defense, because you add Blake Martinez. Now, a lot of people are really critical of signing Blake Martinez. A lot of people felt the New York Giants overpaid. Now, when it comes to Blake Martinez is a throwback NFL linebacker. He's like your throwback linebacker from the 80s and the 90s. Hard-nosed, great tackler, good against the run, which is going to improve the New York Giants run defense on top of already having a really solid defensive line. I mean, Leonard Williams, although he didn't really get after the quarterback all that much, he was rock solid against the run. You also had Dexter Lawrence, had a pretty nice year last year as well. B.J. Hill, don't sleep with him as well. So they got a lot of depth on the defensive line. You also got Dalvin Tomlinson, who had 3.5 sacks, 49 tackles, and 7 tackles for loss, who is the highest graded player on the defense side of the football, according to Pro Football Focus. You also got Chris Slayton, who was basically on the practice squad last year. So, I mean, I like this New York Giants defensive line a lot. I think the New York Giants, in my opinion, are going to be really good or really formidable against the run, especially with the addition of Blake Martinez. Now, where my question and my issues lies with the New York Giants is going to be their ability to stop the pass. Now, last year they were 28th in the NFL in passing yards per game allowing 264.1 passing yards per game. Now, when it comes to the secondary, you bring in James Bradberry, which I was really high on. I really felt James Bradberry was one of the more underrated free agent signings this offseason. A lot of people didn't really talk about it. James Bradberry, in my opinion, has been the most underrated cornerback and football over the last 2 seasons. Now, I was really high on that sign because not only is he a really productive cornerback, but I felt he could be a good mentor to some of the younger cornerbacks on the roster, such as DeAndre Baker and Corey Ballantyne. Well, we don't really know the status of DeAndre Baker. We don't know if DeAndre Baker's even going to play this year. We don't even know if he's even going to be on the roster. And then if he does play this year, he most likely is going to be facing some suspensions from the NFL, given the magnitude of the situation. So his status on the New York Giants is basically up in the air. And we don't really know who's going to end up getting inserted into that spot. Maybe you insert Corey Ballantyne into that role as the number 2 cornerback. I don't really know. But DeAndre Baker, either way, struggled last year as a rookie. His rookie season was not all that memorable. So, when it comes to the secondary, I have my concerns. You also have to safety position. You got Jabril Peppers. Then you got rookie Xavier McKinney from Alabama. You got Julian Love there, who I guess they moved there at that spot. So, the secondary concerns me a lot. It really does. Now, a lot of people don't know this about Blake Martinez, but the reason why a lot of people weren't really that high on Blake Martinez is because Blake Martinez is a good linebacker in terms of being able to stop the run, but he's more suited to play in the old-fashioned day of the NFL, like the 2000s, maybe the early 2000s, the 80s, and the 90s, and things like that. But when it comes to playing in this day and age in the NFL, he doesn't really fit all that well. He's pretty much a little bit of a liability. He's good against the run, but he's a liability against the pass. He's not good and holding down that middle of the field against tight ends and anything that comes across the middle of the field. So he's not really that good in pass coverage, which has been the biggest knock on Blake Martinez over the last few seasons. Now, Blake Martinez somehow gets better in pass coverage. I think he can end up being one of the best linebackers in football. But until then, he's pretty much an average or above average linebacker in that department. Now, when it comes to this Giants defense, like I said, you bring in defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. Now, from what I was able to gather, what Patrick Graham wants to be able to do is he wants to be able to adapt his defense week in and week out. So basically, he's going to be adapting the defense based on offensive tendencies and what the offense likes to do best. So let's say one week you're facing a team like the Kansas City Chiefs that likes to throw the ball a lot. He's going to be finding out ways to scheme this defense that week towards stopping the pass. Now let's say they go in and they face a team that likes to run the ball a lot like the 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. Then they wanted to change their defense up that week to, you know, what gives them the best chance of stopping the run, which I think is really good because when it comes to this New York Giants defense, they have some very young pieces. Like I said, I really like their ability to stop the run. I think they're going to be really good stopping the run. And they do have some young pieces in the secondary as well. Jabril Peppers, I felt, had a pretty solid year as well. But like I said, can they stop the pass? Can they get turnovers? Now, last year, they were 29th in turnovers. They didn't really get a lot of turnovers. And they were somewhere in the 20th range when it came to their ability to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, if the Giants want to have a great defense, they got to be able to do both those things. When you look at some of the best defenses in the NFL from last season, you look at the Patriots, you look at the Steelers, you look at the Baltimore Ravens. Some of the best defenses last year were all able to create turnovers and get pressure on the quarterback. So if you're the New York Giants, are you going to be able to do that? Now, they have some pass rushers that I'm really high on. You got O'Shea Zimes, who I really like a lot. Now, O'Shea Zimes had 4.5 sacks last year as a rookie. I was really high on him when he was coming out of Old Dominion last year, and I think he's going to end up being a breakout stud for the New York Giants this upcoming season. Now, they also have a couple of other guys as well that I'm really high on as well. Like, you got Kyler Fackrell. Now, Kyler Fackrell, last season in 2019 for the Green Bay Packers, I think he kind of got overshadowed with the additions of the Smith guys. So you had Preston Smith, you had Zadarius Smith there, and Kyler Fackrell didn't really have the same production he had in 2019 like he had in 2018. In 2018, he had 10.5 sacks. Now, in the playoffs last season for Green Bay, he made some pretty good. He made a lot of memorable plays for the Green Bay Packers on the defense side of the football last year in the playoffs. So I'm really interested to see how good he's going to be with this New York Giants defense in 2020. Now, you also got Carter Coughlin, the rookie out of Minnesota. I like him a lot. I was really high on him as well. So, I mean, this is a New York Giants defense that overall, I'm not really expecting a lot out of them. Like, I think this is a New York Giants defense that may be a little bit better compared to what they were last season. But overall, I still think it has some ways to go. Like I said, the secondary has some ways to go. James Bradbury is a good addition, without a doubt. But what's going to happen with DeAndre Baker? Who is going to replace DeAndre Baker? You get what I'm saying? And this is a guy who you wasted a first-round selection on in DeAndre Baker. So, I mean, we don't know if he's even going to be on the roster, and we don't even know how many weeks is he going to end up missing due to the NFL potentially going to lay down some discipline on him for his actions a few months ago. So, I mean, this is a young defense that, like I said, I like a lot. I like the defensive line. I like what the defensive line brings to the table. But overall, I think this is a New York Giants defense that's going to be far from great. I think this is a New York Giants defense that, although they do have some talent, they do have some potential, they're going to have some growing pains. Now, like I said, this is a very young defense. Like, I really like a lot of guys on the defense. I like Lorenzo Carter. I like O'Shea Zimes. I like Kyler Fackrell. I like Chris Slayton. I like Dalvin Tomlinson. But this is a defense that isn't going to, you know, change a lot of heads overnight. They have a lot of work that they have to do. They have a lot of things that they have to when it comes to preseason, they're going to have to make some decisions, right? So, I mean, overall, like I said, I'm not expecting a lot out of the New York Giants defense. I think this is a New York Giants defense that may slightly be better compared to what they were last year. I think they may be like 22nd or 23rd, somewhere along that department. Maybe at best they're like 20th in total defense overall. I do think they're going to be very good against the run. I wouldn't be surprised if they're top 10 and run defense. But overall, I think the thing that's going to be holding them back is going to be the secondary. And without DeAndre Baker, without really knowing what his future is going to lie with the New York Giants, that's not going to help their cause as well. So overall, I think this is a New York Giants defense that's going to be far from great. They're going to have a lot of room for improvement. They're going to have a lot of things they're going to have to access when training camp and preseason begins. So overall, let me know what you guys think about the New York Giants defense down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure that you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.